So, um, that's the first thing I wanted to talk about is that part. Then I want to get to the part where Luka got a audience member throughout of the game because he was frustrated, and we know Luka talks more crap than anybody in the NBA. Man, he's a talker, and he was doing a lot of talking and a lot of gestures at the crowd in the first half. And I guess that was a guy in maybe the third row that was jawing at him. Now, it was cool when Luka then was up 15 and he was jawing back with him. But when Luka started losing, the guy said something to Luka, and Luka got him through out of the game, right? McMahon, is it McMahon or McKinnon? It's a Dallas Maverick reporter that I don't think Luka likes too much because he's too honest. He don't kiss Luka's butt. You know, he writes stories and tells the truth on Luka. If Luka's pouting too much, if Luka's not playing defense, he's writing it. And a lot of people that write for teams won't have the guts to do that because now you'll never get an interview with the star player. So they try to be a little nice with it. But this is a back and forth they had post game.
Luka, in your viewpoint, what happened from probably the point of the third quarter, you guys were up by 16 to essentially getting outscored by 30-something points in the next 13 minutes?
It was our defense. I think, I think Book went off. He couldn't miss. He destroyed us. I think it was our defense.
Luka, what were you frustrated about at the end of the second quarter when you got that tactical?
I know I saw you when you said about the fan, That was not a true all. That was not the only thing he said. But I knew you would be the first one to point out something like that. I'm not going to say what he said, but I knew you were going to be the first one to put out something like that. So I just saw it, man. It's just funny. You always seem to be the first one to put some bad stuff about me.
First of all, 99% of the stuff I've written about you has been good.
Oh, I don't know.
I was sitting 2 rows behind us.
All right. So it was the only thing that time he said something, the only thing?
That was what you reacted to.
Yeah. I was hearing the whole first half, right? Or you didn't hear anything?
He was definitely hollering.
Okay, there we go.
Acted.
But you put out something that was just the only thing. But
What was the final straw? What was the final issue? What was the thing that...
It's not the issue. I'm just seeing you seems to be the first one to always put something bad about me.
You asked for the fan to be ejected.
That's fine. It's all over.
Why did you ask for the fan to be ejected?
Because he was cursing me the whole first half too.
Why didn't you ask for him to be ejected in the first half then?
Because I never would eject a fan. They pay for tickets, but I had enough, It's a little bit of frustration.
Yeah, you turned your head and looked over at him after he said that. That's what we saw.
Yeah, that's fine. Be the bad guy in the media, right? It's all right.
Like you fairly portrayed in the media?
No.
So yeah, he said he was cursing him the whole game in the first half, and then something he said, in the second half actually prompted him to go get security and have him kicked out of the game. But then he's going to turn around and say that, and he asked a good question. I get a reporter credit for, pushing back on that notion. He said, then why you ain't get him thrown out in the first half if he was saying things he shouldn't have said? And his response was, because he paid for his tickets, I don't want to get a fan kicked out. So why kick him out in the second half then? Because I got frustrated. I had enough. And that's really just code word for, hey man, the trash talking was fine when I was busting Phoenix's tail and I couldn't miss. But once we started losing and I couldn't buy a bucket and Booker was busting our tail, then it got annoying. I was frustrated. I wanted him out of here. That's a little messed up, man. That's messed up. Either ignore the dude. If the dude ain't saying nothing threatening, he not crossing the line and stuff like that, man. If he just trying to trash talk you and heckle you, that's been going on for a long time. Now, if he out there throwing out racial slurs and, saying stuff about your family and saying things he go do to you after the game or stuff like that, yeah, that type of person don't deserve to be able to continue to watch the game. I'm all with that, but just for heckling you And you get what I'm saying? Like Spike Lee been heckling people for years in the front row. And what did Reggie Miller do in the playoffs when Spike Lee was heckling him? He stepped his game up, won, and got the ultimate revenge by going back at Spike Lee after he hit the game winner against his Knicks, right? And Spike Lee had to accept that, right? And, you know, most fans probably would. If you bust their tail, I'm gonna take a bow and I'm gonna look at you talking all that trash, right? That's how you get back at them, right? So, and he did call him Fat Brian. The supposedly the words, this is allegedly from the tweet that McCannon tweeted out. He said that the fan told him, "Luka, you look tired." This is the quote: "Luka, you look tired. Why don't you go get on the treadmill?" Right. So that's what he said to Luka, and that was the straw that broke the camel's back, and that's when he said, "I want him out of here." Right. So I think that's a little messed up, but what I really want to talk about is, are we done yet? Are we done with this Luka MVP campaign? Like, can we put it to bed this year again? And this is 4 years in a row. MVP candidate, MVP favorite, preseason favorite. Start out with a little, a little heat. You know, he had some good games, some monster games, some good wins, and then right around January, February, they start to fizzle out. You know, he still throw his triple-double numbers up there, but the teams just start fizzling out. And it don't matter who's on the roster. It don't matter if it's Porzingis and Bronson. It don't matter if it's Dinwiddie and Dorian Finney-Smith. It don't matter if it's Kyrie and JaVale McGee and Christian Woods. It don't matter if it's Kyrie, Tim Hardaway, Grant Williams, and Dante Exum. It don't matter who his teammates is. It happens the same exact way every year. We've changed so many co-stars, so many role players. We even changed coaches and general managers. The only thing that haven't changed is the offense they run. And the offense they run is good for two things. It's good for Luka's stats, and it's good to keep Luka and Dallas' name in ESPN's mouth. That's the only thing that offense is good for. There's no reason why one person should be doing everything on offense. Why would that be your offense? There's no reason for your offense to have 5 people standing at the three-point line and one person making plays for everybody and himself. There's no reason for you not to allow a post player to even post up. Name another time when somebody on Dallas's team posted up other than Luka. So he gets to be the point guard. He gets to be the primary facilitator, the assist man, the primary scorer, the primary post guy. He gets to do all of that on offense. And then he gets to play the worst defense on the team. That's his reward. His reward for doing everything on offense is everyone's talking about you. You get all the assists, all the points, and we're going to reward you by allowing you not to play defense because that's what you need. You need to rest on defense because you're doing so much on offense. And not only that, you do this for 10 games, we'll let you rest and take a game or 2 off. We'll say it's your ankle. I don't know what's going on with that. Like the way they keep bringing him and Kyrie in and out of the lineup, like it's almost like we're trying to figure out why it ain't working. Let's see what the team look like with just Kyrie, or let's see what the team look like with just Luka. It's like they're playing those type of games, and it's the weirdest thing because I'm like, man, Rick Carlisle was an amazing coach. He's still an amazing coach and a great mind. So is Jason Kidd. Great coach. He was a great point guard, Hall of Fame, genius IQ for basketball. I know they know better, and so does Kyrie. And I know they know better. I know they know this offense is a dead end, but they're still trying to make it work. And I'm trying to figure out who in the Dallas Mavericks building is saying we must run this offense. They've tried to change everything. There's no other play. You about to end up playing with all the players in the NBA between LeBron and Luka and Harden and Westbrook. I think it was it. How many is that? 4 people: Westbrook, Harden, Luka, LeBron. That's 4 players. Between those 4 players, I think they've played with the entire NBA. I really do. I think they've played with the entire NBA, and the reason why that is because the offense that they played in is such a bad offense, but it's so tricky because it looked like it worked. It looks like it worked because when people are hitting their threes, it looks like the best offense in the world, right? When people are hitting, when people are hot and hitting their threes, it looks like a great offense. And the guy who's orchestrating the offense always have MVP level stats. So it's fool's gold. You looking at it and you like, man, this is great, man. This dude is averaging a triple double almost. Or in Westbrook case, he's averaging a triple double when he was at OKC, and they're kind of winning because you go on a 3-game win streak, then you lose 3, then you win 1, then lose 1, then win 2, then lose 2. Like it's like that. And so it's real tricky, man. It's fooling a lot of people to thinking it's working, but if you really go below the surface and realize it's really bad basketball to play like that, it's horrible basketball. Like we call people in the neighborhood ball hogs that play like that. Like one guy go do everything. We call that the ball hog. Now all of a sudden that's good offense because the analytics say it's good. I don't know what that changed. That's never been good. It's never been good, right? So it's fooling people, and the reason why it's so much player turnover and so much coach turnover is because that the GMs and the owners are always trying to figure out why is this not working. I don't understand. We got one of the best players in the league. Harden was a top 5, maybe top 8 player when he was in his MVP year. Westbrook was top 10 to 12 player when he was in his MVP year, right? Of course, LeBron has always been a top 1 to 2 or 3 player since he's been in the league, and then Luka is a top 10ish player as well. So when you like, man, I got one of the best players in the league. He's averaging a triple double. What do we need to put around him for it to work? Why is it not working? Why we can't win consistently? Why we keep having extreme highs and extreme lows, right? And they can't figure it out, and it's very easy to figure out. That's a dead end offense. The only thing that's really tricking them is because when LeBron ran that offense in Cleveland, it was the same thing. They won 66 games. That was amazing. But they got swept in well, actually they didn't even make it to the finals. They made it to the finals one year, but they wasn't 100% in that offense. Their offense was still developing. They were still running. Because Mike Brown, he ran some type of offense, and their teams was predicated on defense anyway. But once he started winning MVPs and started winning 60 plus ball games, that was always in on the LeBron system. He was the point guard or point forward. He was handling the ball. Mo Williams and Boobie Gibson was shooting a lot of threes. Daniel Jones, Damon Jones shooting a lot of threes. Daniel Marshall, a lot of threes. And LeBron was orchestrating everything. So, and his stats was close to a triple double. So he started getting MVPs for that, right? But they kept losing. They lost to Boston. They lost to Orlando. They couldn't get back to the finals, and he left because he couldn't figure out how to make it work. And he went to Miami. Now, he didn't 100% run that offense in Miami because Eric Spoelstra and Pat Riley probably really don't. They know better to run an offense like that. But the offense that was trying to run, they lost to Dallas, and LeBron got exploited in that offense. It was easy to exploit him. He averaged 17 points in the finals. All they did was make him shoot jump shots and not let him get to the rim, and then expose him. And that's when D Wade said, I got to take a step back, because if I have the ball like I know how to do, like I've been playing, if I play like D Wade, there's nothing that LeBron can do. Because if he don't have the ball, he can't unlock his max potential. So that Dwayne Wade took a step back and said, I understand in order for this to work, I got to let LeBron be LeBron because he's the best player in the league. That's his words. He probably didn't really believe that because the way he played in the Dallas series, I knew he was the best player on that floor. But LeBron didn't back him up well enough. So he said, in order for Bron to be Bron, I got to let him have the ball, and I figure my stuff out. So Dwayne Wade had to adjust to LeBron and say, all right, I'll come off the ball. LeBron, you can do Bron ball. We'll play some of that. And that's when it started working. But that's a super team. They won. They beat OKC Thunder that next year. Then the next year after that, they added Ray Allen. So you had a squad that had like, I don't know if Mike Miller was there for the whole time, but they had Mike Miller one year, Rashard Lewis, Shane Battier. Those are some heavy hitters as far as role players are concerned. Then you add a Ray Allen to that. I mean, that's just already to a big three of three guys that was in their prime that all could lead a team by themselves as a number one. Three superstars in their prime, with Ray Allen, who was a former superstar, but he aged out of his prime, so he wasn't, really a superstar anymore. But what a luxury to have the best three-point shooter in the league at that time, still in tremendous shape, right? I already know how to play championship level basketball, who's led a team as a number one before, coming off your bench where you got three superstars in the start lineup. What a luxury to have, right? So look at what it had to take for LeBron to make that system work where he's playing point forward, primary scorer, primary distributor, and doing all of these things, right? It took a super team to make that work. That's how flawed that offense is. I need a super team to make my offense work. Then when he left Miami and went back to Cleveland, he handpicked another superstar. Oh, I want to go play with Kyrie, and then let me get Kevin Love, who's an all-star, but he's not a superstar. But he was close at the time when he was in Minnesota. So he picked pretty much the same thing he had in Cleveland. Let me get, instead of Wade and Bosh, let me get Kyrie and Love, and then he made that system work again. So if you're running that system and you don't have a super team or damn near close to a super team, I don't know how you make that system work. And that's what Dallas is not realizing. They're not realizing that they can't make this system work. It's not possible. And then Luka on top of that is not good enough. Like LeBron is someone that has got in the top 5 discussion of all time. Some people think he's in the GOAT debate. So look how good he's got to be. Plus, LeBron actually played really good defense in Miami in his first stint in Cleveland. He didn't stop playing defense till he left Miami. So Luka's not playing defense where he's ever going to make any defensive team. LeBron was. So LeBron was playing lockdown defense. LeBron plays fast. LeBron gets to the hole a lot. And he was putting super teams together. So if Dallas want to win, they either got to stop playing the offense that they're playing in, stop the LeBron ball or Luka ball, whatever you want to call it. They got to abandon that, take the point guard away from Luka, put him in his natural position at small forward, let Kyrie run the offense so Luka can concentrate on getting his 30 to 35 points a game. Kyrie can give you 20, 22 by being a primary point guard, handling the ball, setting up the offense, and making sure everyone get the ball in their spots. Not just about 3-pointers. Like there's people who got other skills that they could use. We don't know if Lively can develop a good post game. Ain't never seen that kid post up. I always seen him do is slash, catch alley oops, and slash and catch passes for dunks. That's all we seen him do. We don't know how good this kid is if y'all gonna keep running that offense. So that's what they got to do. And once again, Luka is out of the MVP discussion, and it's a daggone shame, man. These players are so sensitive. Yeah. I remember Reggie Miller get a spike game. Let me get to some of these comments. What kind of NBA media hype? Nah, this is far from over, bro. Oh man. Did you play the clip of Popovich talking about not being run real NBA offenses because of the young players? Maybe this Halo Signature offense is the new NBA. I think you're right, Brian Green. I really do. Because if you look at the league, probably 90% of the teams are running that offense. The only teams I can think of that's not running that style of offense is the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors have never ran that offense. I remember when Klay was hurt, the year that Klay was hurt and Kevin Durant had just left and went to Brooklyn. And it was just Draymond and Steph out there with a bunch of rookies. This was Jordan Poole was a rookie. Moses Moody was a rookie. They had another kid from what's the kid name from Villanova that played he was a power forward. I forgot his name. Spellman, I think. Spellman was out there. They had a bunch of young kids, right? And they weren't good. And they couldn't grasp Golden State's scheme. So they looked bad out there the first 5 games. And they just couldn't figure it out. I think they had D'Lo too. D'Lo couldn't even figure it out. And everyone was saying, man, why y'all just letting Golden State lose like this? Y'all just won a ring a year ago. Why y'all looking this bad? Do something, Steph. And they wanted Steph to play like Harden and take over. Like Steph, just take over. And they were still like running the offense as if they still had all those vets on their team. And I remember Steve Kerr asking that question in the media, and he said that's not how we play. We're not going to play like that. So even when they was sucking, Steph wouldn't go to hero ball. Like they stayed with their regular offense. We're not going to play hero ball, and I like that. Right. So definitely the Warriors don't play hero ball and one man, do everything and the other 4 guys stand at the 3-point line. But Dallas does it. For sure. I mean, the Hawks were Trae Young was doing it a couple of years ago. I think Nate McMillan stopped them from doing that, but he lost his job over there, So, but yeah, it looks like most teams are doing it though. 5-man out, high screen and roll, drive and kick. That's the offense. Drive and kick. High screen and roll, drive and kick, shoot threes. High screen and roll, drive and kick, shoot threes. That's the offense. I feel bad for 7-footers. Ain't nobody trying to get them in the post or do nothing. They can have you could have your 7-footer come set a screen for your point guard. They will switch the screen and put a 7-footer on the ball handler, and the big man will have a 5'10" guard on him. And common sense would tell you the easiest basket is the closest basket to the closest one to the hoop. So if I got a 7-footer with a 5'10" guy on his back, common sense is for him to post up and you throw the ball in the post and you get that easy basket. But what analytics is teaching them today is that if you get a switch, the mismatch is the guy with the point guard with the ball with the 7-footer guarding them. And they'll take the 7-footer that just set the screen and tell him to go all the way to the corner to take that 5'9" guy with him and have the paint wide open so the point guard can take the 7-footer one-on-one and either get a layup going to the rim or get a double coming that he can drive and kick. I think that's the dumbest thing in the world. If I still to this day, if I go to the gym and play ball and I see we call it mouse in the house. As soon as I see a mouse in the house and you gotta look out on your back, even if you don't know that you got the mismatch, like, cause when you play with kids now, they do what they see on the NBA. So it's a lot of drive and kick, even at the gyms now, and a lot of threes. But when you mix the old heads like me with the little kids, and I see this big guy, they got to look out on him. Mouse in the house. I'm trying to get you the ball. It don't matter if I just it don't matter if I just hit 3 threes in a row. If I see you with a mouse in the house, I'm giving you the ball and you better deliver. That's the better shot. But they don't play like that no more. It's weird, man. Trae Young, he was doing it a lot at first, but he's doing it a little bit less now. Especially because he got DeJounte Murray over there. But Halliburton, he's starting to do it. Out of all those players you named, LeBron only one with 4 chips. Yeah, because LeBron is the only one who handpicked his teams and handpicked superstars to play with. And that's the whole point I'm saying. In order for Dallas to make this work, it's got to be a super team. So they better go get them one more superstar and build around that. They need 3 superstars to make this offense work. It's the worst offense in the world. You know, and if LeBron would have never left Cleveland, he wouldn't have those 4 rings 100%. He needed a super team to get to get his first ring. Yeah, this live last name. Kevin Love was a top 5 player the year before he went to Cleveland. 27 and 12 rebounds, 5 assists, was number 2 in plus minus in the league, above LeBron James' play style. Good point, Steven. And that's why LeBron wanted them. That's why they had the number 1 pick that year, and they picked Andrew Wiggins, and he was like, "Nah, I don't train no rookie on my watch. Let me get Kevin Love. I already know how to use him because it's the same way I just used Chris Bosh in Miami." He went over to Miami and got the perfect formula on how to get back to the finals. The only reason why he left Miami is because he saw the writing on the wall. He saw D-Wade icing his knees up after every game. He seen how bad he was. He seen him not being able to practice during the week. You know, he seen how he was on back-to-backs. So he's saying that his co-star was dwindling, and he was like, "Man, I ain't gonna be able to get no more rings if this dude knees ain't holding up." So he seen that writing on the wall and was like, "I'm out. Let me go get another co-star." He said, "Let me go get another co-star." And he seen who went back over there and looked at Cleveland and was like, "Man, they got the number 1 pick and Kyrie Irving." Kyrie Irving was already an all-star his second year in the league. Kyrie Irving made all-star before Steph did. A lot of people don't remember that. Kyrie Irving made all-star before Steph did. Steph was in the league before Kyrie. Steph was in the league and Kyrie was at Duke playing with his brother. So imagine Steph been in the league for 2 years playing with Monte Ellis and couldn't make all-star. But Kyrie comes in, plays 1 year, number 1 pick, and you know what number 1 pick go? They go to the worst team in the league. So you go to the worst team in the league, you're the number 1 pick, and then a year later you an all-star. He came in as a rookie averaging 20 something. Steph came in averaging like 12. So people can't forget how good Kyrie Irving has always been a superstar. He was a superstar. He was a superstar probably his second year in the league, maybe third. All-star his second year, definitely a superstar by his third year. So Kyrie emerged and got to a place that Curry got to after Kyrie did. That's how good Kyrie was. So you just talked about how good Love was. Daggone near close to a superstar, right? He didn't get, and maybe some people might even count him as a superstar, but he didn't get to prove it because he didn't stay on Minnesota as a number 1 long enough to bring success to that team. And my definition of a superstar is a person who leads a franchise as the number 1, but they do it successfully. And by successfully, I mean I need to see you either consistently make the playoffs or at least make a playoff run, second round, maybe conference final. You know what I mean? You can't barely make the playoffs, get put out in the first round by a sweep, and that's the only time you made the playoffs, and me count you as a superstar. Now, I got to see some type of consistency showing that, yeah, it wasn't a fluke and it wasn't just a one-time deal, right? So it's kind of hard for me to say Kevin Love is a superstar or was a superstar. I just know he was close, and I know Chris Bosh, actually proved it. So that's why I don't count the Cleveland Cavs as a super team, because they only had 2 superstars in Kyrie and LeBron, and that's normal. That's the Shaq and Kobe, or the Jordan Pippen, or the Stockton Malone. Like, it's normal to have 2 superstars, right? But it's only like 10 or 12 superstars in the entire league. So when you get 3 on one team and they're in their prime, then you have a super team. So, but yeah, my point in saying that is LeBron, he knew he needed super teams to get his thing to work, and he had one in Miami. He almost had one in Cleveland. And Luka is far more superior skills wise. His stats at this point of his career exceed LeBron's. Look it up. I don't care about stats, Steven, right? Because he wouldn't have those stats if he wasn't playing that play style, right? So I don't respect the play style, and that's the point I'm talking. That's the reason why they're not winning. If Luka was getting these stats, and as a matter of fact, when you even think about it, I didn't even like when James Harden played this play style, and he was getting the stats and the MVP. But guess what? James Harden was doing that Luka is not doing. James Harden had Houston as like a number 1, number 2 seed in the league. This was around the same time that the Warriors was at the height of their at the height they was on the throne at that time. Houston was battling with Golden State record wise. So not only was Harden getting the numbers, they was actually winning. The issue with Harden is when they got to the playoffs, he always flailed out, but he made deep playoff runs. He didn't get put out in the first round. He got past the first, got to the second, got to the conference finals twice, lost to you lost to the team that won the finals. You lost to the Warriors, and you lost to the Warriors with KD. And you almost beat them. You went to a game 7. And Chris Paul tore his quad up. So you lost your co-star. It's totally different. But even with that success that he had in the playoffs and in the regular season with his numbers, I still didn't respect it. Neither did Phil Jackson, neither did Kobe. Like, when you let anybody really talk basketball, talk about their play style, they will always tell you it's not going to work. You can't win that way. It's just real unless you get a super team. It's just bad basketball. If you ever face a team that plays good basketball, they have a superstar, and they play good defense, you almost can't get past them. Because one, Harden didn't play defense. It was all offense. It was all threes or layups, and it was all one man show. How you gonna beat a team like that? Just playing team ball, team offense, great defense, and they got a superstar that they can go to for points when it's crunch time or clutch time. Right? Notice everybody who play in that style, they get the same amount of stats. They get the same 33 points. They get the same 7 to 8 rebounds, the same 7 to 8 assists, because the play style already sets you up for that. Like playing point guard in the NBA, in a league where they saying that we would rather have the points than defense, so they made rules so defense don't exist. So instead of a 95 to 92 game, you're getting 130 to 140 games. Right? So think about how many points are available for a team, and then take a point guard that's doing all the passing. How many assists do you expect a point guard that's an all-star level point guard that can pass as good as Luka, James Harden, or Westbrook? How many assists you expect them to average? So if you take your best player and make him play point guard, you can lock him in for 7 assists. Like, it's impossible for you to score 150 points, or what are the Mavs averaging right now? Probably 115, 120. It's impossible for out of 120 points for your point guard not to have 7 assists. It's almost impossible. How is it possible that your point guard don't have 7 assists? So you can lock in 7 assists for Luka every night, or you can lock him in for that average. It's easy. You're the only one distributing the ball, and it's 120 points is gonna get scored every game. 7 of them go be. I mean, come on now. You go get your 7 assists with ease. Lock them in. That's not even impressive no more. 7 assists out of 115 points. It's not even impressive, right? So 7 assists, lock him in. Now, also, he's the primary scorer, and he's getting 30 shots a game. Out of 30 shots, and you going to the free throw line as well, and half of your shots are threes, out of 30 shots, you're going to get 30 points. If you're getting 30 shots name a night where Luka decide, yeah, I'm taking 10 shots tonight, because guess who took 10 shots tonight in that game? Kevin Durant only took 10 shots. Or did he take 12? 10 or 12 shots. Bradley Beal only took 10. Imagine Luka coming in and saying, I'm gonna take 10 shots tonight. Kyrie hot. let me let Kyrie go for 50. I distribute the ball. When has Luka done that? So if he's taking 25 to 30 shots a game, lock him in for 30 points. So you got the 30 points, you got the 7 assists locked in. Now, how's he getting his rebounds? Is he down there battling and boxing out 7-footers and getting the offensive rebounds and putting it back up? No. He's getting all his 7 rebounds that he's getting, all 7 of them are defensive rebounds. So what does that mean? If you're getting 7 rebounds a game defensively, are you down there boxing out 7-footers and getting rebounds? No. What he's doing is being the guy that's being hidden on defense. They don't want Luka to guard anybody with the ball on the perimeter, right? You have to set a screen with Luka involved in the screen to get a switch and to make him defend the perimeter. Because if the Dallas Mavericks could have their way, whoever is standing in the corner, and every offense got somebody standing in the corner these days, whoever is standing in the corner is who they want Luka to guard. They don't want Luka on the ball at all. His feet too slow. He go give up a layup. And if he is on there, the double comes all the way over. Why am I saying that about his defense? Because if you're standing in the corner while everybody else is defending and you're behind them, and the NBA is shooting mostly threes and jump shots in this era, what 3-point shots and 3-point misses and jump shot misses, what do those rebounds fall at? Do they fall in the paint where everybody's boxing out and battling like Dennis Rodman and Oakley and Barkley? No. Long shots create long rebounds. So if Kyrie is defending the ball, or Tim Hardaway Jr. is defending the ball, and he's defending the best player, and the best player taking a shot, that means the person who's guarding him is putting a hand in his face, and they're away from the rebound. So you can X that person out for competition for a rebound. Who's going to be closer to the rebound? The guy that's contesting the shot, or the guy that's involved in the screen and roll, or the guy that's in the corner standing there playing free safety? So that's where his rebounds coming from. Notice Westbrook, Harden, LeBron, and Luka all played that style of offense and that defense, and they all was getting 7 to 8 rebounds a game. It's because their defense is so bad, they're making them go play free safety on defense. So now they instead of them defending and contesting shots, they get to hunt down rebounds and pad their stats. So it's always a red flag when you see a guy averaging close to a triple double. It's actually a red flag that they're playing bad basketball. But we fall in love with the triple double so much that we think that's a great thing. Another thing, Westbrook, when he averaged a triple double, all those rebounds, how did it help his team? When you go look at his team, Westbrook was getting 10 assists a game or 10 rebounds a game, but his team was below the bottom of the pack in rebounds and assists. Same thing with Luka. If you go look at his team right now, his team is below the bottom in assists. I haven't checked for rebounds, but I bet they close to the bottom as well. Actually, the only thing that they're in the top of is points per game and 3-point attempts, not 3-point percentage, 3-point attempts. They close to the top in 3-point. They shoot a lot of 3-pointers, and they score a lot of points. So they up in the top in those things. But as far as anything defensive rating, anything rebound or assist rating, below the bottom. So what good is Luka's 8 assists doing if my team ain't getting good assists? If my team only getting 22 assists, where a good team is getting between 30 and 35 assists a game. The Mavs only getting 22. So what good is it using Luka for all his assists if it's not helping the team? It's just helping him and his stats. That's why they're losing. They're playing bad basketball. Why did Luka kick the fan out? He said Luka said something about him, man. Y'all let me know in the comment section, man. Before I move on to Phoenix, if y'all want to call in on this, I'll put the phone number up there. Y'all can call in. When you were speaking on Steph, he didn't become a dominant scorer until Kerr brought in that system. His scoring went up 6 to 7 points a game immediately that season. Steve Kerr got hired as a coach. That's possible. Yeah, I mean, I mean, he was already rocking and rolling with Mark Jackson as well, but I do think Steve Kerr's offense was a little bit more modern and actually fit, Steph and Clay. It helped unlock them a little bit. I think Mark Jackson is so old school. Yeah, he was letting them let it fly a little bit, but he had a little bit more structure to his offense. So yeah, you're right. If Mark Jackson would have stayed there, I'm not sure they would have had that type of explosion. But I think they still would have had success because if it wasn't for the Clippers playing lights out and putting them out in the playoffs, they would have advanced that year with Mark Jackson and possibly got to the conference finals or the finals. So I think it was probably only a matter of time. It just would have looked different. And then plus the Clippers, they start having injury issues with Blake and CP3 almost every year. So they didn't have nobody in their way when Steve Kerr got in the seat. But the Clippers stayed healthy that year that they put out the Warriors when Mark Jackson was there. I think that's important too. Kai became a superstar during the rookie sophomore game, in my opinion, when he dropped Knight from the Pistons. Man, he dropped Knight twice. Hold on. So he dropped him with he went through his leg real fast, and Knight just went. It was almost like he hypnotized him and he just fell. And then I think he stepped back and hit the jump shot. But there was something else he did tonight too. He had two crazy highlights in that rookie sophomore game, and I think they both was on Knight. But yeah, he was killing. Yeah, he was killing, man. Yeah, he was a bad boy. Yeah, it needs to be said that almost no star plays defense in today's game. That's not true. Kawhi Leonard still plays defense. He actually played phenomenal defense in the playoffs against Kevin Durant last year before he had to leave with his knee injury. Paul George still plays defense. Kevin Durant plays defense. Devin Booker plays defense. Bradley Beal plays defense. Joel Embiid plays defense. Jimmy Butler plays defense. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander plays defense. Jason Tatum plays defense. Ant-Man plays defense. Thanks, last name. Ant-Man plays defense. These are elite defenders. What you meant to say is that nobody that the NBA is pushing in front of us plays defense. And that's Luka and Jokic and Steph and LeBron. Those are the people that the NBA is putting in front of us, and they don't play defense. That's the issue. The issue is the NBA values stats and how close you get to a triple-double over defense. And they kind of value it over wins as well sometimes. How am I stretching? What am I stretching? Every person I name plays defense. Every person I name plays defense. Ant-Man, SGA, Tatum, all great defenders. All great defenders. De'Aaron Fox, great defender. KD, great defender. Booker, good defender. Bill, good defender. Yeah, it's on. Even Jokic plays better defense this year than he did last year and the year before last. He was terrible last year. Got in the playoffs and started playing good defense, and now he's still playing good defense. So I stay off Jokic. I was on Jokic's case all last year. I'm off Jokic's case now. What he did, his formula works, and his defense has stepped up. I'm off Jokic's case now. I'm team Jokic now. But I'll be on Luka case until he changes the way he plays and he does better. Book, Bill, KD, Ant, Tatum, who are they guarding? What do you mean who they guarding? These are elite defenders, man. What do you know what? Here's the number. Call in. Because you want me to do all this reading, and I'm not in school right now. You know what I mean? Call in. There's the number right there. Call in, and we had this conversation. If not, I'll move on. But yeah, they're good defenders. You can't take nothing away from Tatum. I mean, come on, man. He's a good defender. So is Butler. So is KD. They all good. Now Book and Bill, I'm not gonna give you great, but I give Book and Bill good defenders. I even give Kyrie good. Kyrie get a bad rap. I don't think Kyrie's defense is bad like that. Caller from Texas. What's up, man? What's your name?
What up? I had to check in. I don't think none of the stars play defense nowadays.
None of them.
They're on the court, so they have to guard who they're guarding. But like as far as like playing defense and doing what they're supposed to do, nobody's keeping a man in check.
Okay. So I get what you're saying. So the names that I mentioned, you do believe they good defenders though?
I don't think they're good defenders because they're not even keeping their man in check.
But that's more of the NBA rules though. Remember they created rules so they can have more offense. Adam Silver thinks more points or bring more eyes to the sport. So so they actually changed the game for more scoring. You didn't think that they were scoring 130 points a game because players just got better, right? You do know that you can't touch people no more.
Yeah, well, I also think that it's fair to say that most defenders, once you're established, that they let these defenders play defense.
Not all of them. It depends. It changes from game to game. One game they might be calling it tight. One game they might be calling it loose. I think the issue with defending and why ain't nobody holding nobody in check has to do with the way they call the game, how they blow that whistle, and this era of we want the points to be scored. That's the brand of basketball that the NBA wants to put on TV. A lot of points, not a lot of defense. So yeah, I mean, shot blockers can't even be on like we used to have a Dwight Howard down low with a defender defending the perimeter who go send him to Dwight Howard and he go get either a shot block or he go get roughed up down there and he go think twice about going down there. But now the way they got the rules is they got 5 people at the 3-point line. So whoever your shot blocker is got to go to the 3-point line and play defense. So that's going to limit his shot blocking attempts. So the paint is wide open. How do you keep a great player in check when you can barely touch him and you don't have your shot blocker behind you? The rim is wide open.
I also don't think that there's a ton of good shot blockers in the league today. You maybe have like 7 of them. But I also got a little kickback on the Jokic too. Okay. I don't think he plays in the defense either. He gets deflections. His defensive rating is like ridiculously high, but he kicks the ball. And they call it a deflection. Technically, it's a deflection, but it's a kickball. Mm-hmm. You're not playing defense. You're kicking the ball. Like, guard your guy. Yeah. But he also, like, who does he have to guard? Like,
I mean, other than Embiid, and Embiid kills him every single time. I'm with you on that. But I've been watching. When I do watch his games, I probably caught probably 5 of them this season. The effort is there. My gripe with Jokic last year was it didn't even look like he was putting in forth the effort. He was playing exactly like Luka, but I think he got a taste of that playoff run and that championship success, and now he's locked in on defense. If you watch him this year, like if he ever switch on the screen on the perimeter, he actually moving his feet and trying to stay in front of a man, right? So that's what I'm saying. He's at least putting in the effort. He's still not a good defender or a great defender, but he's not a liability anymore. Luka is still a liability.
Here's what I'll say about effort. Jokic, he's probably, there's probably only like 2 or 3 players in the league in his weight range, I would say. And I think this is also like, I'm not a LeBron fan at all, but I'm going to say one thing that's hurting LeBron is he refuses to drop weight. When you start to get older, you got to lighten yourself so you can, at least attempt to play defense. He won't play defense either at this point in his career.
That's true.
So like the Joker, like if you're competing with like 2 or 3 people that are close to your weight range, you can drop off some weight so you can move a little better so you can keep up on those pick and rolls and stuff. But I think basketball has also went backwards. Like there's no Vince Carters in the league. There's no Kobe's. There's no Iversons. I think the game is went backwards in my opinion.
Nah, I agree with you on that. It's on a downward. Like I think from the 90s to the early 2000s was the golden age or the golden era. Like if you look at the NBA as a person, you know, I think when it first started, when you know the Boston Celtics was winning 11 in a row, I think that was the infant stages, and then it grew to an adolescent. You know, then it's a teenager when Magic and Bird gets there. But by the time Jordan get in there, it's a full grown man in his prime. That's the best we ever go see the NBA from the 90s to the early 2000s. That's the best we ever go see the NBA. Now as an older man, his testosterone level is lower. He gets tired quicker. You know, he's probably making more money, but he ain't in his prime no more. He's declining, right? And going into a slow death. That's what the NBA is at. The NBA is a 70-year-old man.
Yeah, they made it to where a lot of these older players that are still in should not, like 10 years ago they wouldn't be playing. LeBron wouldn't be playing at the way he's playing now. He wouldn't be playing 10 years ago. I wouldn't say 10. I'd say 15. You know, that early 2000s. Him, Chris Paul, your Kevin Loves, these people would be out of the league. Like you wouldn't be able to keep up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, people had more respect for the game back in the day when they realized they couldn't and that's why Kobe left. He felt like, man, I can't kill these dudes no more. Kobe could have stayed on the Lakers and said, let me collect the check and y'all need to go get me another superstar because I still want to chase points and chase rings. He could have done that, but in his mind, he felt like if I can't be the best player in the league, I don't want to stick around the game like that. I'm not about to stick around like that. And you know, Stockton, you know, he played a lot of years. He didn't have a whole lot of injuries. He could have kept playing. You know, but these dudes bowed out gracefully and was like, man, 15, 16, 17 years. All right, man, I'm out. Y'all can have it. It's a young man's game now. Everybody I came in with is all gone. There's no point for me to be here. Right. So, but nah, I'm with you, man. I appreciate the call, man.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Shay says I hear LeBron is missing games because of his ankle. Is he saving energy for the All-Star game? I don't know why LeBron missing games, man. Maybe his ankle is hurt, or maybe he just needs some rest, and he's saying his ankle hurt. I mean, he's old, man, so he probably just needs some rest, right? You know, and ever since he's been with the Lakers, he's played 50, 55 games, 56 games. You know, that's around how many games he played. He missed a lot of games. He missed almost 30 a year. He only had 1 year where he played 67 games. So, with the Lakers. So this is right around what he do. He take rest days and take rest. He old, man. So plus he probably pouting, man. They below 500 and you know, he probably having a pity party. You know, this is probably what he does to force a team to do something that he want to do. Because when he was in Cleveland and he wanted David Black fired, he took 2 weeks off. And he wasn't injured. He just took 2 weeks off. And I think he was pouting. And then they finally said that, hey, we'll go fire David Black. So he came back. So maybe this is his way of forcing them to do some type of trade. I don't know. They're all around defenders, not one-on-one defending, except Butler. He's a great one-on-one defender as well. Like I said, we seen how good a defender Paul George was in Indiana. And we know he's still a good to great defender, and so is Kawhi Leonard. However, it's very hard to defend if you cannot touch people and the paint is wide open. It's very tough, man. Like these rules don't allow you to be great defenders. Even the great defenders in the 90s, Scottie Pippen and Jordan was great defenders, but when they first start getting in front of Kobe Bryant and Grant Hill, seeing people move like that with that crossover. First of all, the crossover was so new to them. They couldn't even understand why they was getting baited with that crossover every single time. Man, Grant Hill, Penny, and Allen Iverson used to embarrass the Bulls with simple crossovers. You know what I mean? And they couldn't stay in front of these dudes. And hand checking was still allowed a little bit back then. And they couldn't stay in front of them dudes, man. But they had 7-footers behind them. So at least when Iverson crossed over Jordan, he still had to take a contested jump shot. He didn't get all the way to the rim for a layup. Right now, it's 5 people at the 3-point line. There's nobody in the paint. So if I get you with a bop with a crossover, and I get to that, I'm getting to that rim, ain't no 7-footer down there. It's totally different, man. These dudes can still play defense, man. It's just the rules is just taking defense out of the game, and they taking the post player out of the paint and the shot blocker out of the paint. The NBA is 77 years old. Thanks, bro. Yeah, because I remember they just did a 75th anniversary when they put out that bogus list. Yeah, LeBron want D'Lo gone. He want DeJounte Murray. Check the stats of Jordan versus LeBron at age 39. MJ played the entire season. At 39, that's correct. He played all 82 games, and that was a year after he had that MCL repair on his knee. LeBron, he also misses team practice. Well, that's another thing they're doing in this era. They're not even practicing no more. They don't even practice in this era. So that's another interesting thing. They rarely practice in this era. So yeah, that's another weird thing. But yeah, man, that's it. That's all I wanted to say about Dallas Mavericks, man. Let me move to the Phoenix Suns, man.